Hello and welcome once again to the Owatonna Today Show. So glad to have you along on this Wednesday, December 12th. I am your host for today. My name is Betty Johnson. Of course, the Owatonna Today Show can be found 6 days a week if you're watching us on Charter Channel 8 throughout the day at different times. Don't forget we're also on blip.tv.com along with YouTube, and you do need to enter my name or Shelley's name to bring up a particular show. And we're also out there on Facebook, so you can take us along if you're going to miss an episode. All you have to do, if we would appreciate if you like us and click the thumbs up button. And we do want to remind you, if you like a particular episode, then you will be entered in a contest to win a pair of tickets to see the Steele County Blades. And we're going to be giving away a pair of those tickets throughout the season. Also, if you have any questions or comments or concerns or ideas for guests, you can contact our producer, Leanne Alt, at Owatonna Today at charter.net, or you can give her a call at 390-5751. We've got a very interesting lineup of guests for today. We have some police officers in the studio with us, and one very extra special police officer, you can probably hear him, as well as Dr. Mittal will be in our second segment. And that's all going to happen right on the other side of the break, so stay with us.
Hi, I'm Jody Voisin with the staff at Fairview Animal Medical Center, your other family doctor. Fairview Animal Medical Center is a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
The majority of fatal home fires happen at night when people are sleeping. Smoke alarms give you time to escape. We recommend that you have a smoke alarm in every sleeping room of the house and one on every floor in the common living areas. Smoke alarms should be tested monthly, and we should be replacing the batteries at least once a year. This is a safety tip from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hi, we're Mark and Becky Stevens of the Owatonna Pizza Ranch.
And we support the Owatonna Today Show.
We have with us today, as you can see, some police officers from law enforcement, and a face that is rather familiar to the Owatonna Today viewers, and that is Captain Jeff Mundale.
Morning.
Glad to have you along. Now, you've brought along, as I said, some very special guests with us. Why don't you introduce us, and we're going to find out why they are here.
All right. To my right is Officer Brady Fox, and to his right is Officer Brandon Fandel, and his partner, Bullet.
Bullet. Canine, is the same official title Canine something?
Yeah, Canine officer.
But you are officially his handler.
Right.
Now, how long has Bullet been a part of the Owatonna Police Department?
Almost 7 years.
7 years?
Yep.
And have you been his handler for all 7 years?
I have, yep. I went through training with him 7 years ago in St. Paul for 12 weeks in the spring, and he's been with me ever since.
Now, did you come to the police department with him, or were you here before?
No, I was here. I've been here for about 13 years.
Okay.
And then in 2006, we decided we were going to put on a canine, start a canine program, and I was the lucky one to get selected.
So now, what are Bullet's official duties? What does he do?
Well, he's considered a dual-purpose canine, which means he's trained in patrol work, which includes tracking, building searching, obedience.
What does he look for when he goes into a building?
People. He's going into buildings where we think somebody might be there, and
that shouldn't be there, or
right.
a dangerous person? Okay.
Yep. Like say a burglary or a robbery or something like that, where we think somebody's gone into a building. We'll send him in before we go to either find the person to let us know where he's at, and make it a lot safer for us, or so he can go in and apprehend the person. And it's a lot harder for them to fight us if they have a dog attached to their arm.
So that's what he does. He just basically goes after their arm, or
he's trained to target an arm.
An arm.
If he can't get the arm, then he goes for whatever he can get.
Okay. Has he done that a few times at all? in
No,
Owatonna?
actually, we have not had to do that. We've had several opportunities, but every time they decide to submit, it's pretty intimidating when you have a German Shepherd at the end of a leash barking at you, and
Oh, yes.
the threat is there that he's going to bite. They usually, I've always had
Especially
people.
because they don't know that he's just going to go for the arm. They maybe are afraid he's going to go for the jugular right away. Or
Well,
something.
hopefully not, but
If they think he's going to, that's okay.
that's absolutely right.
That's right. Now, he also is does drugs.
Yep, and that would be the dual part. So that's the patrol and then narcotics. So he's trained to detect marijuana, cocaine, crack, meth, and heroin.
All the most serious
Right.
drugs out there.
Yeah, the more common ones.
Now, where does he hang out, so to speak? Down at the law enforcement center? Does he have his kennel,
Well,
or does he
when
go
we're at work, we've got a special police car that's outfitted with a kennel. It's got a not really a temperature control system, but it's got a temperature sensor and stuff like that, and some specialized equipment. So if it gets too hot in there, it alerts me. It rolls down the windows, turns on a fan, and
Oh, okay.
there's a kennel in there for him. So that's where he rides around every day.
So if you're in the building, then he's still in
He stays in the car, yep.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. And then he goes home with you?
And then he goes
in the
home with
evening?
me. Yep,
So he's your family's dog as well?
kind of.
Good protection for the family.
Yep.
Now, also, 7 years, he is going to be retiring, I understand.
Yep. Pretty soon he's starting to show his age, and he's getting sore, and the medical bills are starting to pile up. So it's getting to be about time for him to retire.
So then you're going to, well, he's going to have a successor. Are you going to be the one who's going to take over with the new dog?
I will not. That
So
will actually be
that will be
Officer
Brady.
Fox here.
Okay, so Brady, why don't you tell us how is it you became involved with the program?
Well, since the start of my career back in 2005, I've been working on and off with canine handlers. I started my career at the South Dakota State Patrol as a state trooper,
Okay.
and we had several canine guys stationed out of the same district as me. So I began to work with them quite frequently, and it's something I became very interested in, and really like Officer Fandel, it's something I've wanted to do since the start of my career, really. So to develop relationships with canine guys and have the opportunity to work with them is only, I guess, heightened my interest to wanting to do it. Coming here, Officer Fandel has agreed to work with me quite a bit, really, and kind of show me the ropes. And when the position became available for the next canine handler, it's something I interviewed for and was selected.
Okay, so now what is it you have to do for your training? How long is it and what does it involve?
It'll be another 12-week course up in St. Paul. It's the same course that Officer Fandel went through. He's been through the training and kind of knows what it all entails. He'd probably be a little bit more, I guess, qualified to speak on it than me, but it'll be a 12-week course that's pretty in-depth with the dog. The dog will come, I'd imagine, sometime in February.
So you get matched with the dog first and then the two of you go together through the training? Is that how it works?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, so it's not he does trained and then you're trained and then you match up afterwards. It's together.
Yep.
I imagine, yeah, then you learn. Now the dogs that you get matched up with, have they been trained a little bit beforehand, or where do they come from?
They may or may not have received training. It could be anywhere from basic obedience all the way up to they may have already gone through 10 weeks of school with another handler, and either because of the dog wasn't mature enough or the handler just wasn't good enough or didn't work well with the dog, that dog may have been washed out of the program. So the dog could have 0 to 10 weeks of training.
How is
So
it determined that he's going to make a good dog for that particular duty?
well, they're selected. We get them from overseas. There's a few kennels that go over to Slovakia or that area. That's where he came from, and they get selected over there based on a whole bunch of different factors.
Now that there's got to be a cost involved with that, isn't there?
There is.
Yes.
There is. When Brandon received Bullet, he was actually purchased under a milk bone grant,
Milk.
and that was
Okay.
located through Cashwise,
Sounds
if I'm not
appropriate.
mistaken. The initial cost of the dog is $7,500.
Really?
And a lot of those expenses add up because he is coming from overseas, and there's some travel involved with that. In addition to the cost of the dog, there's about a $4,000 registration fee for the PDI certification.
That
Patrol dog
Brady has to do.
certification, correct.
Yes.
So those costs have pretty much maintained the same level as what it was when Brandon went through the course, and that's kind of what we're going to expect to have to budget for, is about a $12,000 price tag to get Officer Fox suited with a dog and through his first initial 12 weeks of school. And then following up with that, this in the fall will be the narcotics certification course,
Okay, so it's
which is
more.
built into that price.
Okay. And then, of course, there's maintenance after that, isn't there?
Right.
He's got to be fed, and there's vet bills, and so is all of this going to come from the city budget, or do you have other funding?
It is. We have that built into our budget.
Okay.
However, we are going to be seeking some sort of public donations for the initial cost to set up Officer Fox with a dog and to send him through class. So we are going to be going out throughout the community and doing a campaign to try to raise some money and receive some community support for that.
Do you have a name for that campaign, so when people will know when they hear?
It'll be Owatonna Police Department Canine Fund.
Just Canine Fund, okay, and that is self-explanatory right there.
Right.
So now Brady, he's going to be living with you when you get your animal?
Yep, it'll be kind of the same situation as Bullet and Officer Fandel. We'll set up a kennel at my house, and I'll have a take-home squad car with all the equipment ready to go, so we can go to work every day.
So now I have to ask you again one more time, Brandon. Are you out there every day patrolling with him? So
Well, yeah, I'm on a normal
and
patrol
he goes
schedule,
with you
so
then?
I work 5 days in a row and get a couple days off. But yeah, if I'm out there, he'll be with me.
if you see an
For a few
officer
more months
with
anyways.
a car with a dog in the back seat, you'll know that is Bullet. Or maybe in a year, somebody else with Brady. So, well,
Probably
come
the name
back and
Fonzie.
come back and introduce us to the new canine.
Okay, we
When you
will.
get him, will you? That'd be interesting. So, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
these
for
are
having us.
officers from the Owatonna Police Department. And when we come back after this break, we're going to be going out to the Owatonna Care Center and speaking with Dr. Simon Mittal.
Hi, this is Dave Efforts with TPS Insurance, and we are proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Effective Monday, October 15th, the clinic main entrance will be closed for construction. Please use our temporary entrance, the dialysis doors, and/or the hospital main entrance. We appreciate your patience during our construction, but at the end, we'll have a pleasant entrance that is larger, warmer, and safe for our patients. Again, starting Monday, October 15th, the clinic main entrance will be closed for construction. Thank you.
I needed more than just another dead-end job. I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
With the kids off to college, I decided it was time for me to go back to work and express myself.
Express got me in touch with some really great companies. Now, I'm on my way to a great career.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
Hi, I'm Doug Johnson with the Owatonna Business Incubator. We're here to help small businesses start and to grow. We're a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, my name's Dave Olson and I'm with R&K Electric, where we provide power to the people. We're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Mark Woodrich with Steele County Blades Junior Hockey. Come back to the orange and black. We'll see you at the rink. The Steele County Blades are very proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
We are on location at the Owatonna Care Center with Dr. Mittal and with Brenda Schrupp. And Brenda is the administrator here. Hello, Brenda.
Hello, good morning.
Now, as administrator, why don't you give us a rundown what is happening here at the Owatonna Care Center?
We have been making a lot of changes, which we're very excited about. Recently, we have done a remodel in our day room, which we're sitting in now, so it's exciting to see some improvements made to our facility. I think I've been here for the past 2.5 years, and we have been managed by Deseret Health Group, and I think one of the things that we have really been focused on is our quality of care and making sure that we are giving our residents the care that they deserve. So we've put a lot of protocols into place to really showcase that and make sure that our systems are in place.
Now, do you have to follow certain guidelines, state guidelines, national guidelines?
We do, yep. All nursing homes are regulated by the Department of Health, and so one of our key measures is our survey outcomes, and we can show that over the years we've had great improvement in the quality of care being delivered.
And what size is this facility? How many beds?
We are a 55-bed facility.
Are you currently full, or do you have openings?
We have openings, yep. It fluctuates a little bit based on short and long-term residents, so people come and go, and so, yep, there are availability.
Now, what about financing? It's a big worry as people get older these days. How can I afford extra care?
Financing varies by person. Some people pay for it privately, some are covered by insurance or Medicare, some are covered by state funding, so it really varies depending on a person's financial need.
So you do accept all that? 'Cause I know there's some places that are very, they're a little more picky, but you do accept all forms of financial aid?
We do, yes, absolutely.
Now, you said you've been here 2.5 years. Have you been anyplace else to get experience?
Yep, I have worked in long-term care for the past 12 years. I got my start as a social worker and then went back to school for long-term care administration. So for me, I really found my passion working with the elderly. I think that our residents have much life experience and wisdom, and I feel truly honored to be able to work in this capacity.
And where do you plan on taking Owatonna Care Center in the future?
You know, I think for us, we have really tried to overcome some of the history of this building. I know that we've had, there's been a lot of change in ownership, there's been a lot of change in leadership team, and so for us, we've been pleased to be stable. We've had 2 years with Deseret Health Group, and I think our philosophy has shifted in terms of really focusing on that quality of care, really having aggressive monitoring, auditing systems in place to make sure that we're doing what we say we're doing, and we look forward to that opportunity to be able to share that with people in the community.
And probably one of the reasons the monitoring comes in is because Dr. Mittal is a part of the staff. Or are you part owner, staff? What is it your particular vested interest in the Owatonna Care Center?
Sure. Well, thanks a lot. So we have a business called LTC Professionals, and the goal of LTC Professionals is to provide the highest quality of care possible in this environment. And when we look nationally and historically, I think most people would say they worry about the kind of care that's being delivered in nursing homes. And so as an entrepreneur, but also as somebody that really cares about how people are treated, we said, you know, there can be a change here. So we started a business, and we've been very fortunate to be able to work with Owatonna Care Center and Deseret Health to really help provide services here in the community. I used to be part of the community, so it's a special place in my heart to be able to be here. So what does that mean? For us, it really means we have to be available. So we have 100% availability 100% of the time. Dr. Mike Wilcox, my partner, is on site at least once a week, and we really try to provide the care that's needed. And so we try to follow specific outcomes to determine how are we doing, you know, in terms of satisfaction of the patients, satisfaction of the staff, how do we reduce hospitalizations and ER visits? How do we make sure that people don't get infected while they're here? How do we make sure they don't get bed sores while they're in the facility? And so in partnership with Owatonna Care Center, we've really made some very, very significant improvements in those arenas. And we keep track of that very closely. So not only is the state watching, but we're also internally watching to really make sure, how do we really take care of people really well? There's a lot of studies in this area that have been done to really ask questions. What does it take to take care of people in nursing home settings or in short-term rehab settings? And in order to do that, we know that availability is the big thing. And so when we talk about availability, we know the staff here can pick up a phone, they dial one number, and they will get a hold of a physician who can now interact with the staff to provide the best care immediately. They don't have to wait. They don't have to try and figure out who the doctor is. They know who the doc is. They know they can get the service they need right away.
Okay, now, since you are part of it here, if someone needs a doctor, you make house calls, or do you just, have them taken to the hospital?
No, we've really tried to avoid the hospital as much as we can. Not that it's a great hospital; it's a great hospital here. Having worked there, I'm very proud to have been part of that hospital. But I think what we're trying to really do is how do we utilize the right resources? And so, for example, if somebody's starting to not feel well, the staff here will give us a call. They'll give us kind of the history and background, and then we'll make some decisions. Maybe they need an IV for fluids, or maybe they need an IV antibiotic. And those are things we can do right here. We don't have to send them to the hospital for those kinds of things. So not only are we trying to help people transition from the hospital to home, which is one of the key things that we do here, but also we're trying to take care of people in the best environment possible so they don't have to keep making changes or moving to different environments, because that can be very hard on people as well.
So what is the extent of the care that you do offer? Because I know some nursing homes cannot give as much as some other nursing homes do. What is the extent that you have available here?
Well, it varies by nursing home, and our business is in 10 different nursing homes, so it does vary a lot. But I think, in terms of being able to give an IV, in terms of fluids, in terms of antibiotics, I think that's a big part of what we can do. The staff here are trained to do, to be able to give excellent care on site right away when needed. There are always going to be limits in this setting, though, and so when the limit is reached, we will send them to the emergency room appropriately so, or we'll send them to the hospital to be admitted for further evaluation. But we can do X-ray on site. We can do, like I said, IVs on site. We can do ultrasound on site. So we can do a number of different modalities already to help us diagnose and treat people right here.
Do you also offer physical therapy?
Yeah, and that's a big part of what happens in nursing homes now is we do a lot of therapy, not just physical therapy, but occupational therapy, speech therapy are really part of how we help people transition. So the transition from home or from hospital to home can be very challenging. So how do we help them? And therapy is a big part of that.
So it's not just for people who can no longer be in their home altogether, but somebody like, they have an extensive surgery and can't go home right away. This is the intermediate care?
That's right. So for example, if you've had an orthopedic surgery, for example, a knee or a hip replacement, or you broke a hip, you might come here for a short period of time, get some therapy, get stronger, and be able to go back to your home environment.
Now, do you offer any particular care, like do you have an Alzheimer unit, or is that someplace else?
Well, it depends on what's really needed. So when we talk about Alzheimer's disease, it's a very variable disease. And some people who maybe are wandering around and have a risk of what we call elopement, so they might put themselves in danger by leaving the building, they may need a locked unit. And some facilities have that and some facilities don't. But most Alzheimer's patients are not that way, and so they can really be managed in an environment such as this really quite easily.
Now, when someone is looking for a facility to put their level 1 in, I'm sure there's lots of questions and they want to know lots of details. What is it, do you give them, what is it the process to go through to be admitted?
Yeah, and Brenda probably can add to this as well. Really, there are a number of good websites out there that can really help people understand information about what's going on with different nursing homes, especially if they're trying to compare them. But the process itself is really managed through social services at each site.
And Brenda, are you a part of that as well? Is there like an interview process?
Well, our social worker, usually if people are looking for placement, they would contact the facility they're looking at, and then we encourage residents' families to come visit, because I think you can tell a lot when you come into the facility. You get a sense for what's going on in the building, the care that's being provided. There are a lot of websites where you can go and look and see concrete data about survey history and ratings, and that's really good for the consumer, but I think it's helpful to come in, ask questions, get a sense of what their day-to-day life is going to be like when they transition to a facility like this.
Right, so the best way is just to come in and look around, take a tour.
Absolutely.
That's
ask
great.
Questions, say, what's a day like? What is it, how are the meals going to be structured? How are the activities? How's the family involvement? Show us some data on how your outcomes are.
And that is what families do want to know too. So I hope we have helped you a little bit if you were thinking about putting a loved one into a facility. We've been here at the Owatonna Care Center. For Leanne Alt, I'm Betty Johnson.
Hi, Warren Abraham Consulting Technologies, your one-stop technology shop. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Hello, I'm Sean McNulty.
And I'm Deb Gillard with Brookdale Senior Living, Sterling House, and Clarebridge of Owatonna.
And we are a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
In 2011, United Way funded programs provided services to over 10,000 Owatonna residents. For the second consecutive year, the vast majority needed help to meet their most basic needs: food, clothing, housing, and safety. United Way of Steele County is able to sustain a safety net of direct services, prepare our children for the future, and provide seniors with support to age in place due to the generosity of our community. Please make a donation to United Way again this year. Our neighbors are counting on us, and we are counting on you.
We are back, and we have time to pass along several announcements. To begin with, of course, it is the Salvation Army bell ringer season, and they are in need of bell ringers. If you can give a couple hours of your time, it'll be greatly appreciated. You can call 507-272-9295. That number again is 272-9295. Also, the Christmas bird count is coming up, and you are invited to help out. It's the 41st annual bird count. It'll be held on Saturday, December 15th. They would also like more people to help to count at their bird feeders at home. That means you can count birds from the comfort and warmth of your own home, and that's just one day only. For information, you can contact Darrell Hill at 507-451-5073. That number again is 451-5073 to help out with the bird count. And the Steele County Humane Society is having a holiday feline special. You can get kittens or cats and find new forever homes. They're offering a holiday special. It is on now through the 31st. All cats and kittens are 50% off. And there's nothing better than to find a furry little friend under the tree or in a stocking for Christmas. So for information about adopting forever a cat or a kitten, call the Steele County Humane Society at 451-4512 or email at adoptapetpets@yahoo.com. I hope I got all the information in there with that. Also, if you are an artist and you're interested in visual arts, theater, literature, or music of some kind or film, and you do need some financial assistance, you can apply for a grant. And there's going to be the Southeast Minnesota Arts Council Community Outreach Program is having coordinator Katie Leo will be offering a free grant writing class to artists at the Owatonna Arts Center coming up on Saturday, December 15th. That's this Saturday from 1:30 until 2:30. For more information, you can contact the Owatonna Arts Center at 451-0533. And that is it for our show for this Wednesday. We're so glad you joined us. For Leanne Alt, I'm Betty Johnson. This is Owatonna Today.